We typically approach ancient sacred texts as a collection of historical biographies and moral fables. We read them for the lives of kings and the chronicles of specific tribes, searching for a timeline of the past. Approaching the text as a series of isolated events leads to observing a chaotic universe. It leaves us to navigate a world of arbitrary tests and random suffering, where timelines appear entirely fragmented and disconnected. The precise spacing and geometric structure of this ancient script suggest a different function. When viewed as mathematical notation, the text behaves like a balanced equation of spiritual physics. This system is governed by a strict conservation law. In this framework, mass and energy undergo phase changes, shifting from one state to another, while the total value of the system remains constant. Our perception of ourselves as isolated, broken particles is what creates the experience of confusion. The system itself remains an unbroken cosmic loop, waiting for the participant to recognize the pattern. Every system designed for recovery implies a previous state of unity. Within this architecture, the human soul begins in a state of latency, a singular, undivided memory that exists prior to physical form. The descent into physical reality is an act of dispersal. Consciousness shatters into multiplicity, spreading across the void in countless individual sparks. This fragmentation creates a vacuum in the human record. We experience this as a profound forgetfulness, where the memory of our unified origin is obscured by the complexity of physical existence. The text functions as a mathematical system designed to resolve this fragmentation. It provides a network graph, mapping the exact pathways required to gather these scattered nodes back to a single, stable center. The apparent chaos of daily life operates as a structured mechanism. It is actively calculating the return path to the origin for every fragmented variable. Names like Pharaoh, Yūnus, and Ibrahim function as mathematical operators within the field. They represent specific phase states of the human soul, rather than purely historical figures. The Pharaoh operator represents the manifestation of residual mass. This rigid stone posture embodies the force of inertia, the resistant ego preventing movement. The Yūnus operator describes the function of maximum compression. It is the state of a light signal trapped in dense darkness, where extreme pressure is utilized to extract living truth. Because the system is built on conservation, every fragmentation creates an equal and opposite reaction. The field automatically generates proportional counterpressure to correct any systemic imbalance. This corrective loop has three parts: the initial split, purification into pure form, and the final return. Historical conflict is the thermodynamic field in the process of balancing itself. These narratives describe the system's natural defense against spiritual entropy. Navigating this system requires a dual traversal. The subject must simultaneously collapse inward to recover lost memory and expand outward to manifest order in the physical world. To maintain structural integrity during this movement, the subject passes through three distinct thermodynamic loads, known as the three fires. These fires act as a filtration pipeline. Each stage is a thermodynamic barrier designed to refine the vibrating particles of the soul. The first two stages strip away extraneous noise, foundational knowledge is tested, and the internal memory is isolated, compressing the subject into a dense, solid core. In the final stage, the compressed memory germinates, expanding into a stable, highly organized state of awareness. Surviving these thermal loads allows the soul to achieve the correct frequency. Only then can it be reabsorbed into the unified field. The balance of mass and energy across history is mathematically complete, yet the equation remains open. It requires one final, observing variable to be resolved. That final variable is you, the reader. When the reader realizes the system, the entire historical timeline collapses. The vast distance of the past reduces to a single point of action. Through every phase shift and transformation of the soul, this invariant identity remains. It is the only element that carries through every fold of the calculus. The text is a living mechanism that observes the reader as the reader executes the code. This realization brings the journey to its final mathematical coordinate. The subject encounters the transparent floor. The turbulent, deep water of the material world hardens into perfect clarity under the weight of an observing consciousness. This coordinate functions as a geometric fold. Tracing the line along this surface reveals a Mobius strip, leading directly back to the origin. The fold reassembles all broken mass, gathering every fragment of lost energy into a single unbroken wave. The intense pressures, fires, and trials were the exact forces required by physics to carry the soul through the loop. The loop is complete. The memory of home is recovered, and the viewer remains at the